Hey there, today I've got 3 fun and creative sketchbook ideas for you. This video is sponsored by Karin markers, so I'm going to use them for all of the pieces that I create today. As always, I will put a list of the products that I'm using in the description box. So if you'd like to get your own Karin markers, then check out the links there. For the first one, I'm going to use my Hanemühle watercolor sketchbook. And I'm going to paint a birdhouse. And this is something that I don't think I have done before. I thought that that would be a cute idea because you can design your own birdhouse and the stakes aren't that high because it's not a full-sized house and you don't have to focus that much on architecture. You can just create a very simple house shapes and you can color it in different fun colors. You can pick whatever textures you want. I decided to add a little bit of wooden elements and I decided to make it really fun and colorful. And you can really do so much with the idea of creating a birdhouse. I also decided to put a little bird in there, and you can do that if you want, or you can just leave that out if you don't want that. And really, you can customize this the way that you want to, or you can copy it the way that I did it here. You can see that I'm going back and forth a little bit between the markers and a brush. On my brush, I have some water, and that way I'm blending in the markers. And this really always depends a lot on the paper. On some papers, the markers blend like butter. On other papers, they sit a little bit more. On this one, it was somewhere in between, also depending on the color. So maybe test the markers on your paper if you aren't sure how they will perform. And you can also use them on a wet surface. This is something that I was a little bit timid to do at first, but I've done it a bunch of times and it doesn't hurt the markers. So sometimes I just put some water on the surface in the shape that I want to paint, and then I will add in a darker color, for example, for shadows, and it blends into the water that's already there very nicely. So you might see me do that here and there. Sometimes I also use the markers more like a regular marker, just drawing with it and then blending them together a little bit, so you can create all kinds of effects with those. And I did use a colorful color scheme here, but I still wanted to limit myself a little bit with the colors so I wouldn't go too much overboard. So you can see that I used pink tones, blue tones, I used purple tones for the shadows, and then we have the more earthy and nature tones, a little bit of green for the greenery and the brown tones. And I just made sure that my colors repeat in the piece. That is something that I do most of the time, so that I can make sure that my piece looks cohesive. And I, for example, used the pink in the wooden roof that I created here as well. So I just laid over a little bit of this very light blush tone over the wooden colors, and I used the purple pinkish tones for the shadows for the house itself, but also a little bit in the greenery. So don't be scared to mix and match your colors a little bit, because something that's blue isn't just blue. It can also have purple shadows, and the green leaves, they can have blue shadows and stuff like that. So that's going to make your piece a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more interesting and cohesive. And also the bird isn't just pink. It has these pink outlines, and then in the middle I used this kind of a Naples yellow. I'm not sure. I believe it's called an almond. Yeah, the color is called almond. I really love that color because you can add it to all of your mixtures. I also used it, I believe, with the greenery. I used it with the fence. It's a little bit in all of the wooden elements, and it's also in the center of the bird. So I'm repeating those colors, and that's really what is kind of finishing this piece off for me. And I also used a pen and a white gel pen for some details and some line art to make it all look crisp and finished. And I also decided to, in the end, I added a little bit more greenery at the bottom because it was a little bit empty. And then I also extended the wooden stand beyond the page so it doesn't end before the page does. I hope that makes sense. But initially I just wanted to leave a little bit of a white border, but it just didn't look right with the greenery coming into the piece. It looked like this stand was super short, so I extended it and just added a few finishing details, and here is the finished piece. For the next one, I'm using my gray toned Hahnemühle watercolor sketchbook. And this one worked really well with the markers. This sketchbook doesn't really have too much of a texture. It is cold press watercolor paper, but it is a fairly smooth texture. So on this paper, the markers, they just run across smoothly. And so you don't really get crisp lines with the markers, but they blend really nicely. So it really depends on the kind of effect that you want, but I really liked it because I used a colored pencil for the crisper details, mainly just for the eyes and a little bit of detail on the scarf. And the owl looks kind of scruffy, and I mean, it has feathers, and I wanted them to blend together, have a little bit of a texture. And I think it worked really well on this piece. I really had a lot of fun with this owl, and I want to create more characters. So this was a really good idea for me in this case, and I really enjoyed the process of this. And you can really customize this owl as well, change up the scarf if you want to, and use your favorite colors. It also doesn't have to be all natural colors. You could make the owl blue if you wanted to. I also tried my wax medium that I bought for gouache on the Karin markers, and it works really well with the Karin markers. It just doesn't work that well with the colored pencil because the colored pencil is wax based. But honestly, it didn't smudge too badly, and now the page is protected. Now here we are in my sketchbook from Etchr. This one is called the Perfect Sketchbook, and it has a rougher texture. So here the markers don't blend as much, but they still work really well. They work really well on watercolor paper, and I wanted to do this very simple negative painting. I've done this a few times. I've done it with watercolors and in combination with gouache, but I've never done it with markers, and I thought this would be a really fun idea for this. And I have this scene from the movie My Neighbor Totoro on the right side, and I wanted something jungle themed that would fit, and I wanted something super simple. And I just love to create these negative paintings because they just look so fun when they're finished, and they're really not that hard to create. You just paint around your leaves over and over again until you have added enough colors, and you kind of have this 3D effect, this cutout effect. And I would really recommend that you do this. You could do this in all kinds of colors. You could do it in fall colors, for example, or you could also do it with other subjects. I have done it in the past where I have painted cacti. And here you can see that I also used the wax medium on here, and it dries really well and protects the pages really well afterwards. And I just put it all over the page, and this is what it looked like afterwards with the medium on it. If you want to see more sketchbook ideas, then check out this video next.